To rise to divinity, you probably need to take a gulp. Though I'm sure it won't be that simple.
Excellent question. Normally, this place ought only to be known to Godwoken, but judging by the ships burning in the bay, there's been a breach, let's call. Regardless of who's on the island, all that matters is who ascends. Make sure that's you. The strongest will survive and ascend.
The squirrel guides its cat over to you, chittering as it goes. It reaches up. The wood is covered in a scratchy, scrawled handwriting. It's hard to read, but you can just about make out the recipe for a spell. Gareth greets you warmly.
I should thank you. I don't know what came over me. Praise Lucian, I had you to put me on the right track. Not bad. Took some time to think. My parents led good lives. I'd rather celebrate them for the love they gave me than to wail over their loss. Besides, we have work to do. Once we anchor at the Nameless Isle, I'll scout ahead, see if I can help locate the council and ease the way. I'll report to you on what I find.
Gareth offers his farewell and hums to himself. You recognize the tune, Blessed and Bold, a hymn praising Lucian.
Tread carefully. I studied the tablet that you so generously provided. It showed me everything I need to know about creating a functional Swornbreaker. Once I have that, I'll be free of the Covenant. And free to spend the rest of my days with Mahalli.
Expert warriors for hire, all seasoned in combat. They won't let you down.
See those structures further inland? Remarkably like those from the caverns of the Black Pits, aren't they? Should you discover the parts needed for a Swornbreaker, please bring them to me. I'll make it worth your while. Also, you will likely encounter sworn followers of the God King on that island, I suspect. I would avoid combat if possible. Death can be less than final for them, if the God King wills it.
Almira doesn't respond right away. Instead, she turns and gazes intently at the island. After a long moment, she finally speaks.
I sense a familiar presence. The Sallow Man. Yes. He's there somewhere. Likely commanding Black Ring forces. You should... He's a foul creature, but not opposed to cutting a deal. Beware his underlings, though. If they challenge your presence, pose as a thrall of mine, and you should gain safe passage. My name should still command respect among them.
Quite a journey I've found myself on with you. Is this where it ends, I wonder? Dangers indeed. You can almost hear the sounds of battle when the wind shifts correctly. And where there's battle, there's bound to be mercenaries. Glechu Duma, the words of the lone wolves. No doubt my former comrades will have them in their employ. Speak their words, and you might pass. Speak their words, and you might pass. Consider it a token of my thanks for the assistance in retrieving anathema. My efforts continue. I must admit it's quite an intricate piece to work with, even for someone like myself. I remain confident of success, though. Pursuit of my interests has led me to fall in with some disreputable company in my time. For a short while, one such group was the Black Ring. I know, not something to be proud of, but they let me do as I wished, so desperate they were for aid after the death fog cut them down to size. A fine arrangement, until they started preaching about this God King and his infernal covenant.
He snorts derisively.
The last thing this world needs is another would-be god, and an army of fools willing to follow him. It's a sop to all the fools who think that someone will grant them power and immortality in return for loyalty. This God King has caused to make war with the Seven, and the Covenant is how he's gathered his army. They become sworn, as it was put to me, bound to serve, die, and be reborn for the God King for as long as he wishes. Then, at some ill-defined point in the future, they think they'll be rewarded. You should have seen them all. On their knees, worshipping a new tyrant just to spite 7 old ones. I got away from them while I still could. Unfortunately, Dallas was waiting to snatch me.
Do what you must at this place, sorcerer.
Hello. This island is something else, huh? Sure thing. I'll start hunting that down right away.
Like to take a look at what I've been working on, by all means.
Bodies have been purged.
Who could have done this?
I suspect we shall soon find out.
Before you stands a shrine of a particularly strange design. You've seen machinery like this before, in the cave beneath the Black Pits. Here too, the apparatus thrums with power and seems to pull you in. A strange symbol is carved into the stone. Details lost to the wear of time. You saw this in your vision at the excavation site. The flaming arrowhead leads to a trial for dragon worshippers. The arrowhead points the way forward. The symbol of the dragon's cult has lasted for eons. The Devourer's legacy remains carved deep into Rivellon. This is a sign of an ancient dragon cult. The arrowhead points the...
I've never seen ruins like these.
You don't get out much, do you?
As if from nowhere, a sweating warrior appears before you.
Who the hell's be yow? Thralls to Almira. I borrow Yower grunts, mistress. The Divine Order pigs be here at the temple, and I would have Yower pets kill 'em.
He points you towards the nearby temple, where a skirmish continues.
Yow have Yower orders. Get to it. I thank you kindly, mistress. Now, thralls, get out to it.
Black Ring. Could they be doing the purging?
The plot thinnens.
You're not the thrall I've been promised, but you might be something to practice on until...
He pulls a small dagger from his robe and leans in close to examine you. You see that he's covered in a patchwork of tiny scars.
Such a pristine hide. Your skin will make a beautiful canvas. Ah, fine. I'll leave you to her pleasure. I just hope she doesn't throw your life away by sending you up against the Shriekers. It would be such a waste to see a fine hide like yours rotting outside the Elven Temple.
If Mistress Almira would have her thralls report to camp there yonder, we would make use of them.
With twinkling eyes visible through his helm, the Reaver offers you an apple, shiny and red. It is perfect in every way.
How spectacular. Did you see the light fade from their eyes? Their expressions as they passed...
The necromancer looks wistfully at one of the bodies.
To experience the transcendental, there is such beauty in it all. Oh, yes. Yes. Martial combat is all well and good for lesser creatures, but I'm talking about the metaphysical. The moment when you reach out to touch the void. What do you see? What do you experience? What secrets does the universe reveal? I wish I could feel it. Just once before our God King raises the faithful to immortality, before the chance is gone forever. Well, yes. Aren't you curious? I want to experience that moment, that fleeting moment as soul and body float apart. Of course, our Lord will resurrect the faithful when he himself is reborn. For us, death is a temporary inconvenience. So, perhaps you could perform a service for your betters and inconvenience me? Give me that gift. And ruin these robes? Certainly not. We must be clean about this.
He reaches into his robes and pulls out a dagger. Its long, thin blade looks wickedly sharp. The necromancer grins as he hands it to you and pulls aside the cloth covering his heart.
Here, strike true, and let us see what awaits me.
He gasps in shock as the knife pushes through flesh, muscle, chips a rib, and enters his beating heart. He falls forward, clutching at you.
Oh, my.
His hands curl around your neck, and as his eyes meet yours, he opens his mouth to speak again, and the light fades from his eyes. You pull the gore-covered dagger from his chest, and his body slumps to the ground, limp and still. The altar stands before you, flecked with moss and the cracks of age. An ant crawls across the surface, dipping in and out of the inscription that's engraved on the rock. In honor of Ralik, first of the gods and patron of humanity. As your prayer drifts away on the breeze, you feel the world around you shift. You open your eyes to a courtyard with wooden targets and practice posts scattered about. And there before you stands Ralik, a twisted old man struggling to heft his own sword. With difficulty, he lifts it high, cutting down towards one of the targets, but he misses completely. His sword clangs against the cobbles, slipping out of his hands and skittering towards you. Cursing loudly, he crawls towards you, searching hands running over the stone. He's blind. He hears you as you step forward and lets out a cackle.
One of the others sent you, eh? Sent you to pester a poor man that has lost his sight?
He snatches it back from you, but seems more likely to use it as a support than a weapon. He approaches, running his hands over your face.
Solstice's champion, are you? I'll give you what you need to find the Well of Ascension. But I need a small favor in return. 2 small favors, really. I want your eyes. After all, what is a warrior without his sight? Give me yours. I assure you, they will be put to good use in the war against the Void.
Your god leaps forward, knocking the frail old man sideways. Ralik gets to his feet, grabbing a shield emblazoned with a burning sun, and backs away defensively. The image fades, leaving only the symbol of the sun dancing in your vision. You slowly come to your senses at the temple, where chittering birdsong fills your ear.
Don't chow bother. It's the God King's island now.
The altar stands before you.
Ya was still here, ya thralls, when ya was supposed...
The troll leans in and glares at you with beady little eyes. His breath is like a butcher's offal bucket, left in the sun too long.
No cave for you. Stop your... No cave for you. I tell you this...
The troll stares at you in abject confusion for a long moment, before...
No cave. No cave for you. I tell you, no care about other puny trolls. They are weak next to Krag. Nothing can defeat Krag. And no cave for you.
The troll crosses his arms across his...
I get sack of meat every day to watch cave. Not answer questions about cave. Island keeps me strong, stronger than other trolls. Go now, or there...
The troll grimaces and spits a melon-sized glob of
No cave for you.
The troll looks over you thoughtfully while one of his fingers rummages around his nostril.
Cave for you.
An empty cave with a bare altar. Strange.
The altar before you seems relatively bare. There is no inscription to a god and no offering placed. All you can see is a smear of blood on its surface and a hollow that seems to call for something. You feel an invisible hand grab you by the throat. Cold, unseen lips brush your ear. You can't make out any words, but you understand what you're hearing. Whispered tears, screams in the dark, blood, pain, blood, blood. The hand releases you, and you stagger back, gasping. The altar watches you silently. It's waiting. The altar before you seems relatively bare. All you can see is a smear... The altar before, all you can see, you feel and you can't. The hand releases you, and you... The altar before you seem all you feel and you come back.
Rise.
Reading of the wonders of Solstice, it's clear where her people get their feelings of supremacy from.
You there! Prithee, goodly traveller, might I prevail upon you to answer a question? You see, I am on a mission most grave. I seek a sorcerer most foul, most reviled, most feared. Her name is...
His pincers scissor wildly.
Septa the Ineffable! Have you heard tell of this wicked beast on your travels? Lost. Then the hunt continues. Be wary, traveler. Where Septa travels, doom soon follows. Imperio, away!
This is not quite the safest place I've ever been.
We better find a way inside before it all goes up in smoke, and us with it.
Countless symbols cover the stone tablet's surface, forging a riddle between several languages. You make out one ruined line. The champion must offer a burning stone to the dragon's mouth. The cultist was ordered to reach the Nameless Isle and pass the dragon's test. It required placing a fire rune on the proper altar. Between the symbols is a... You place the offering deep inside the dragon's mouth. Something in the dark seizes your wrist. The grip tightens to sheer agony. Cold metal presses against you to soothe the ache. When you reach for it, your fingers catch on a pair of greaves. As you pull the armor free, the bitterness of betrayal cuts through you. Ash clouds the room, hot as a forge. You stand high on a black cliff housing Zolstissa's temple. Other lizards scream, declaring you a blasphemer.
I see you. And inside you is the strength I've been looking for. Patience. You must prove yourself worthy of such answers. You must find the temple where the Devourer's loyal servant was abandoned. I will draw strength from there to speak again.
The vision fades. The cave's sharp chill returns, and with it, a cold aura takes shape behind you. The lizard stares at you with open delight. His torn garb resembles that of a priest.
I welcome you, honored one. Be at peace, for your day has come. Do not hesitate. The ritual is prepared for you at the proper place. My master awaits. It is where the world changed. The Devourer opened our eyes. You must see this truth for yourself. Join the master at the temple of the false goddess, Zolstissa. We cannot leave him waiting.